VHStack.
Yeah.
And that's the noun for this. That's what it is.
Right.
I'm Joseph Scrimshaw in the VHStack.
Yeah.
This is my VH.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. You got it. You got it, Chief.
Hello, I'm Joseph Scrimshaw, and this is my VHStack. This is an amazing place to be. The smells alone are fantastic. The categories are great, but it's almost more fun to just look at the spines and to make spinal decisions. Yes, my first spinal decision is, this is kind of a horror movie in its own way. It's one that I searched for on VHS. It is Artists and Models, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, one of the most popular comedy duos at the time that the world mostly feels kind of about now. Artists and Models is the height of their weirdness. This is, I believe, it's in the mid-50s, and it's like somebody assigned Martin and Lewis, can you please capture on celluloid and then VHS the weird anxieties of the 1950s, from nuclear bombs to Russia to sexual tension? Shirley MacLaine plays a bat lady from a comic book in which Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin make comic books, and there's an attempt to ban them because they're too sexy. Whoa. And Shirley MacLaine is one of the bat ladies from the comic book. Because remember, kids, comic books are sexy, and that will cause Russians to invade us with atomic bombs. Yeah. Watch out for that. It's going to happen.
That sounds fucking awesome. I've never heard of that.
This is great because I have a horror movie. I want to be sure to pick some of my horror favorites. And this is one of my very favorite horror films, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. It is the original of the trilogy. It's not one of the trilogies that get talked about like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, but Creature from the Black Lagoon is a trilogy. If you have never seen this classic one, it's the latest of the Universal classic monsters, and this is a little bit of a spoiler for the story, but basically explorers are going out looking places. They find a hand, a bone, a fossil, and they're like, what did this come from? We got to find this. And the titular creature just chilling in his lagoon. He's got a lagoon. He's got a little rock apartment in the back of the lagoon. And then people come and just harass him and shoot him and swim with him. He's like, I'd like to swim with the lady. And like, nope, we're going to shoot you for that. It is monsters as sympathetic as the best. Another great anxiety of the 50s about outsiders, where it seems like you're watching the square-jawed men defeat the outsiders. But really, it's this sneak like, hey, we treat outsiders like shit, don't we? We invade their rock apartments in the lagoon. It's so good, and the other two films just carry on with that. So I think it's kind of a subversive classic, even to the day. What other subversive classics do we have in here? I don't know if this is a subversive classic, but it is my favorite James Bond film, and that is the one-timer George Lazenby in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Wow. The only film he actually did as James Bond, and one of the only films he did. This is one of my favorites because I'm a big James Bond fan, and I read the books when I was way too young. I don't know why. I was being babysat, and I was taken to the library, and I explained to the babysitter, like, I was a kid who liked to use big words for some reason when I was young. I was like, I want to have more cultural knowledge, so I'm going to read Goldfinger. And she's like, I don't give a crap, kid. So I got really attached to the Ian Fleming novels. And then back in the day, you would see the James Bond movies on ABC, like Sunday night movies, and they'd be broken up by 8,000 commercials. And I would be confused because, like, these are not like those books that I shouldn't be reading. But On Her Majesty's Secret Service is like the Ian Fleming novel. It's one of the best that is just like actual espionage with like flair and fun, but also emotion. And George Lazenby is surprisingly great. And picking the VHS in particular, because this this painted photo looks like it's his prom photo. It looks like he's just like, that's not a great James Bond picture. That is just a
love the foil
dopey
on top,
picture.
So the gold foil is a nice touch.
The gold foil is great because it looks so fancy and it collects dirt so well.
Do you have a favorite of like the modern Bonds? Like from like Pierce Brosnan?
Yeah,
onward?
Casino Royale is unbeatable to me. It is just it's also very, very close to the novel, but updated, and I have a real personal connection to it because it came out the day my wife and I got married.
Oh.
So we got married, and then the next day we went to see Casino Royale, and there are, of course, violent and scary parts. and my wife and I were holding hands, and she'd squeeze my hand during the violent and scary parts. And for the very first time, I got cut by her wedding ring during Casino Royale. So beautiful.
Blood oath.
So emotional, yes. Ooh, this is not horror, but it is something that also meant a lot to me as a kid, and I would have died to find this VHS back in the day. This is Batman Volume 2.
Whoa,
you know,
shit.
of all the Batman. This is the old Adventure serial. So it claims the original serial adventure of Batman, Volume 2, the last 8 of 15 chapters of the original serial, starring Batman and Robin. That started it all. And if you've never seen it, I love these serial adventures. I think a lot of what we enjoy in modern pop culture kind of flows from it. I think the initial run of the MCU was successful because it was an adventure serial. You meet a character, and then there's a cliffhanger, and you meet another character. And there's just so much that I love about these. They're so exciting for the time. But even as a kid, I was so happy to find them and know about them. But they'd get kind of boring because, like, Batman and Robin would be dressed up. They'd beat people up. And then, because they were trying to save money, there'd just be some dudes in suits in an office talking for like 13 out of the 15 minutes of the serial. And then Batman and Robin would beat somebody up in the hills of California, where this was clearly filmed. And looks nothing like modern Gotham. It looks like Batman and Robin put on just like shitty cosplay versions of themselves and went to Palm Springs to fight dudes in suits.
Hell yeah.
But it's awesome and just incredibly important part of my pop culture education. Let's see.
I know you had a couple like comic-related picks. Do you like follow any modern comics?
I have been collecting FML by Kelly Sue DeConnick.
Yeah.
I've got a chance to meet Kelly Sue, and she's amazing, and the comic book is amazing. And it was when I was filming the horror film that I wrote and directed, Dead Media. The day after we stopped filming, I went to the comic book store and I found FML. So it also has this extremely important moment to me of like, that was the first time I felt peace. Like 5 months was
That's
reading
awesome.
FML.
That's a great book.
Yeah, I really love it. It's so smart and funny and just great monster stuff and great issues and ideas about what it is to be a monster or not a monster and outsider stuff. And yeah, I've been giving too much love over here. I should look over here. Oh, shit. This is also one of my very favorite films. This is Frank Sinatra in Otto Preminger's The Man with the Golden Arm. If people are not familiar with this film, somebody screwed up with the rights, so it's available everywhere. You can get it on pretty much any streaming, any DVD, any Blu-ray. It was very, very easily available on VHS back in the day. So short story of my history with Frank Sinatra. Somebody gave me like one of his albums as like a joke. You know, it had like the coffee song on it where he sings about coffee in a sexy way. And like, yeah, haha, this is dumb. And then I listened to it. It's like, oh my God, this is actually good. Am I allowed to like Frank Sinatra? So I went down this rabbit hole of interest in Sinatra and learning about all the pop culture from that era. The Man with the Golden Arm is a really important film. He got nominated for the Academy Award for it, and it was part of his sort of big comeback. Where he had been very popular, and then people kind of found out that he was a real guy who like had sex and drank a lot and did some bad things like punch reporters who were mean to him, and he had this kind of squeaky clean image, and he totally collapsed. And he was one of the first guys who was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna lean into it. Yeah, I am kind of lonely. I'm kind of a bad boy. So he had this big comeback, and The Man with the Golden Arm was a part of that, kind of one of the pinnacles of it. It's called The Man with the Golden Arm. And it's kind of a choose-your-own-adventure about what does the arm mean? Because he's a card dealer, he's a shark for hire, who also wants to be a drummer, who has a heroin problem.
Oh, God.
So there are at least 3 things going on with his arm. And which one is gold?
That's writing.
Yeah, we get to decide which one is gold. But it's a fabulous performance. And I think sometimes if you think of the 50s in some of the like square-jawed, stilted, this is the way it should be, it's a great film to see to remind you that people were doing like more daring things, and like Sinatra was the biggest artist of his time. So it's like if Taylor Swift dropped everything and said, I want to play a heroin addict. And I want it to be as disturbing as possible. It's a great film and a fascinating cultural artifact. So love this one. Man with the Golden Arm. I maybe can get one more in my VHStack paw. And I'm gonna look around. But this one I have never heard of, but is exactly the kind of VHS specific find that I would like as a kid, because now I know it's bullshit, but I would have been happy to find it. This is called Dracula, a cinematic scrapbook. Which, when I was a kid, I would have been like, wow, I can learn more about Dracula? Somebody took the time and energy to produce this quality entertainment product? And now I recognize that as, some people own some clips, but not a lot of other things. And they tricked kids like me out of $15. It says, Dracula Cinematic Scrapbook. A fabulously fiendish collection of film trailers and trivia tracing the bloodline of cinema's greatest ghoul, Dracula. So right there, you say, it's trailers. It's like it's trailers. We get to visit such classics as Nosferatu, Son of Dracula, and the all-time cult phenomenon Plan 9 from Outer Space. So they don't even have the rights or footage to actual fucking Dracula. Dracula is left out of the Dracula scrapbook, but I don't care. I want it.
YouTube compilation.
It is. And I think that's about what my hand can do. This is fantastic. This bookstore that I'm in the basement of is great. Every bookstore should look fancy on top and creepy as hell in the basement, and you get to spend lots of time hunting through the stacks. It's not obvious where everything is, and you can find secrets. I love that very much. This has been a ton of fun. If you like horror films, please check out the horror film I wrote and directed. It's called Dead Media. To my knowledge, it is the world's first haunted DVD movie. It is about a young woman who wants to watch something on streaming, and then her Gen X uncle comes over and says, no, you gotta watch it the right way on DVD, but the DVD ain't right, and horror and generational trauma ensue. You can find out all about where it's available by going to antennareleasing.com/films/deadmedia.
Awesome.
Great.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Good job.
Yay.
Beautiful job.
Very fun. Very, very fun. Oh, and now I just saw the basket.